I believe that Trump was chosen by God to save us from socialism. And I'm going to trust everything he does faithfully, unquestioningly. If you want to call me a cultist, go ahead.
So your stance is you would criticize Trump if he ever did anything worth criticism, correct?
That's correct.
And you also say that you've never criticized Trump, correct?
That's correct. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't believe he's done anything wrong or that I believe he's never done anything wrong. It just means that I believe the things he's done wrong are not worth this frantic level of criticism.
No, that's not what you said. Now you're adding sort of adjectives. You're
This
saying
would mean that,
let me finish. You're saying frantic criticism. You said that, quote, you would criticize Trump if he did something worthy of criticism. Then your next statement was, and I've never criticized Trump. You didn't say, I've never criticized Trump this frantically. You said, I never criticized Trump. So don't
no,
add the word frantically. Is it
no, no,
not?
no, no. You got me wrong. That's not what I said. I said, you
Well,
guys are being frantic. You
you
guys are being frantically critical.
I don't get that's fine. You could say that you find my criticism to be frantic. We're talking about you, right? So you switched from you and what you've personally done to me being frantic. That's irrelevant to what I'm asking you. You're saying you would criticize Trump if he did anything worthy of criticism, correct?
Yes,
And you're saying that you've never criticized Trump.
that's correct.
That means if we syllogism, premise A, if Trump did something worthy of criticism, I would criticize him. Premise B, I've never criticized him. Therefore, conclusion, Trump's never done anything worthy of criticism.
In my opinion.
Yeah, you're in a fucking cult.
Well, that's fine. You can tell me that I'm in a cult. I mean,
I will say that.
that's what Democrats say.
Is there any other human being that you know of that's never done anything worthy of criticism? Can you name me one other human being on earth that you feel that way about?
You.
You're literally criticizing me for criticizing Trump too frantically.
Well, that's the subject we're on.
But that's a criticism that you're making of me.
Okay, man. You back me into a corner.
Okay, can you name another human being that you've never criticized? I'm sorry, let me rephrase. Name another human being that's never done anything worthy of criticism.
No, I
Your
can't.
parents, your brother, your sister, your wife, your child? Are you married?
No, thank God.
I think that's a mistake. But do you have a good relationship with your mother and father?
Yes.
One or the other? Okay, you do. Have they ever done anything worthy of criticism?
I think we're getting off the subject here.
No, I don't think we are. I think
Trump.
this is exactly the subject. The
Let's
subject
stick
is
to Trump.
the subject is how insane it is that there is any human being out there that you think has never done anything worthy of criticism. That's insane. That is an insane position to take. And I don't know if you're. I don't think you're trolling now that I'm
Okay,
going to talk to you a little.
politically,
Wait, whoa. Well, that would be
politically,
irrelevant.
there's
That's
nothing Trump has ever done that I would criticize him
so
for.
now you're changing your stance. There are things
Well, because we're
non-politically.
talking about politics.
It's not just about politics, right? Right? It's about like whether or not a human being is infallible. And you said, you didn't say politically. You said that Trump has literally, for example,
Well,
are
I
there
didn't
things?
think I had to say politically. I thought it was implied.
Oh, so for example, then, if I said Trump cheating on his wife is bad and I criticized him for that, is that
Okay,
a political
if Trump
criticism?
cheated on his wife, I would criticize him for that.
But he clearly did. But nonetheless, is
Okay,
that
you don't know that. You have no
But
idea
that's
what's going on. You're making
okay?
assertions.
Fine. Would that be a political criticism?
Him cheating on his wife? No, it
Correct.
wouldn't.
Okay, even though it would affect politics.
Him cheating on his wife wouldn't be something that I would criticize him politically for.
But it doesn't matter. The criticism itself could negatively implicate him in political circles, correct?
But the could, would, should, I don't know.
I mean, you don't think that people have used sex scandals to harm people politically in the past?
I'm sure they have.
Okay, so then my question is, would you consider that a criticism that you wouldn't make because it's political in nature? Or are you saying, despite the fact there could be political ramifications, I would offer that criticism?
So I wouldn't criticize him politically for cheating on his wife. That's all I can say.
Would you consider a criticism that would be in the realm of politics if it was a criticism that negatively impacted him politically, and therefore you wouldn't make that criticism?
I would have to decide for myself if it negatively
Here's
impacts
why.
me.
Here's why. So if it would negatively affect politically, then you wouldn't make the criticism, or you would consider that a political criticism that you would potentially make.
Let's get back on the subject.
The reason this matters is because what if I said I criticized Trump for saying grab them by
Yeah,
the pussy?
we're
Is that
going
a
into a lot of
let me
theoretical.
finish. It has nothing to do. It has to do with your untenable position that Trump's never done anything that's worthy of criticism. Then you changed your
Why is that
position. Then
untenable?
you changed your position and said, well, wait a minute. I mean, he's never done anything politically. So we're trying to get you to
I didn't
define your
change
terms.
my position. I
You did.
clarified it.
Okay, you
When
clarified
I
your
said
position.
that, I typed it in chat.
Right.
It's hard to type out sentences in chat. It's easier to speak.
That's true. So now that let's use your word, you've clarified your position. I'm now trying to get you to detail exactly what that clarification means. So when you say, oh, there are things I've criticized him for, which by the way, have you? Can you name me a thing you've criticized Trump for that's not political?
No, because I really didn't follow President Trump before he became president.
Right.
Before he got into politics.
Okay. Great. So then you never to your with how public Donald Trump is, right? Would you agree with this? He's probably one of the most public figures in the world. President of the United States has been this, at least since 2016, he's probably been more than any other human being on earth discussed, his business put out there. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
And out of all that time, since 2016, you haven't found one thing, political or not, to be critical of Trump about. Not one thing.
Well, tell me something he did before he was president. Like
What's
I said,
what's it matter if it was before it's president or not? He's done a lot of shit since 2016. Have you found one thing since then that you found worthy of criticism? And the stories that you heard about him previous to being president, like the grab him by the pussy, all of that stuff, that was before he was president, but you've heard shit like that, right? There's nothing that you've heard of his life before politics that you think are worthy of criticism.
Is that what you want me to criticize him for, saying grab him by the pussy?
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm giving is an example. The reason I bring that example up is because I would ask, if let's say I had a problem, I said, hey, I find that language to be harsh, I don't like it, I criticize that use of language. A benign criticism, but nonetheless a criticism. Would you say, well, yeah, that's a criticism that you could make because that's not political? That's why I was going to bring up that exact, or do you consider that a political criticism because it was brought up in the context of trying to sabotage him in the election? But it doesn't matter because now we're back to, well, even outside the scope of politics, you've never found anything to be critical of Trump for.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's insane.
What do you want me to criticize him for? You want me to criticize when his fingernails are too long?
It has nothing to do with what I want you to criticize him for. I'm telling you, if you can have any politician, particularly a politician or a person that has been the most talked about figure, more information disclosed about, as you concede, since 2016 than any other human, and you're like, I can't think of one thing that I would ever criticize him about in that time frame. That's fucking insane. I could come up with like 30 right now off the top of my head, and that still puts Trump near the top of the lead of people that I've given the least amount of criticisms to, or would have the least amount to criticize.
Yeah.
You can't think of one.
One what?
One thing to criticize Trump about.
No.
I mean, you're in a fucking call.
Okay, his hair is a little too long. He needs a haircut. That's my criticism of him.
You believe that?
Yeah.
You really believe that his hair's too long?
Just a little too long. He needs a trim.
You think it's too long? You're not bullshitting me right now. I think you're bullshitting me. I think you're obviously being facetious.
I'm trying to criticize him. I'm trying to virtue signal to you that I'm not in a cult.
That is what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to virtue signal to you that I'm not in a cult by criticizing Trump. That's what you're doing. You're trying to virtue signal that you're not in a cult by criticizing President Trump. That's all this is about.
No, what it's about that you even admitted with your parent. There is no human being on earth that you wouldn't have had some sort of criticism except Donald Trump. That's the only one.
Every human being on earth has done something that's worthy of criticism.
Correct. And you've acknowledged you've acknowledged that Trump is one of the most public people. So of all the humans that you're like, I assume we can find, for somehow you haven't found one thing to be critical of Trump about. Not one.
That's right.
Okay. You're starting to see the problem here. Now, the reason this matters is because
I don't have objection.
Your objection to me was
your problem is that I'm in a cult.
Your objection to me is
that's what you think.
Your objection to me is, how dare I criticize Trump? How dare I? That's your objection.
That's not my objection.
What's your objection?
The level of criticism.
Oh, okay. So then you, a person who literally has not found one thing to be, you know what? In fact, before we get to this, I promise we'll talk about my level of criticism. I promise. Tell us a little about your political
It's not just
ideology.
yours. It's not just your
Tell
level.
us a little about. Tell
It's
us a little about your
70% of
political
Trump supporters.
ideology. Tell us a little about your political ideology.
I'm a conservative, Christian, Trump supporter,
You fiscal
patriotic
conservative?
American.
When you say
Fiscal
conservative,
conservative,
are you fiscally conservative?
I suppose, but everyone has their own definition of what that would mean.
You say you're fiscal conservative. Tell me what that means to you.
I'm not a political genius here, but I think it means small government, less spending, that kind
I'm
of
with
thing.
you. Yeah,
Less
dude. I'm not.
socialism,
It's not a
less.
trick. It's not a trick question. Yeah, I think spending less money, right? Being right, more responsible with the government spending, fiscal conservative. I agree with you largely. I'm not asking for some. So you agree that part of your political ideology is you think our government spends too much money.
Well, I think all governments spend too much money.
Okay, but specifically with our government, do you think it spends too much money?
Yes.
And would you like to see the amount of money being spent cut back?
Yes.
Okay, Trump spent at a higher clip than Obama. Did you criticize him for not being fiscally conservative?
No, I did not.
Why not? You just said that
Because
you're
I
fiscally
don't believe.
conservative.
Right. You're trying to trap me, so let me talk. Okay. Trump has to keep the government open to get things done. He has to work with people in Congress. He has to play the politician.
So then you're
Hello?
making excuses. You're like, well, when Trump does it, I'm okay with it because he had to.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's President Trump. It's not
So,
some other politician. It's not Biden. It's not some Democrat. It's not some rhino. It's President Trump.
okay, so then let's say, I don't know this. Would you consider yourself someone who's like a Second Amendment absolutist?
I trust President Trump on the Second Amendment.
You're starting to see the problem? It doesn't matter what your ideology is. Even if Trump goes against something that's in your ideology, you say, that's okay. I trust he must be doing it for a good reason. That's a fucking cult.
Okay, you can believe that if you want.
I
But
do.
if you want me
And
to
I think it's objectively true.
if you want me to criticize President Trump over bump stocks, it's not going to happen.
You're not going to criticize him over anything. I could talk to you for 3 hours and be like, tell me what makes you tick. What's your political ideology? And no matter what it is, you could be like, well, part of my political ideology is that I'm against sending any weapons to foreign country. And I could say, okay, well, Trump's doing that. And you'd say, well, I trust Trump. So it's okay when he does it. If Biden did it, I'd be critical. If Obama did it, I'd be critical. But with Trump, even if it's directly against something I believe, I trust Trump. So I won't criticize him for it. Is there anything that Trump could do that you would be critical of him?
I don't know. Give me an example.
I don't know. I've already pointed out one. I've just got to know you a little, and you said you're a fiscal conservative. I mentioned how much Trump spent. You said I'm okay with that because it's Trump. So therefore, I'm okay. So I'm asking you. It's going to be real tough for me to dive through who you are, what makes you tick politically, etc. So I'm just asking you, what would it take for Trump to do something that would be like against one of your core values that would say, okay, now that I'm not trusting Trump on? Can you think of any hypothetical?
I suppose maybe if he hurt someone, stabbed someone.
I mean, politically.
I mean, unless he does something really radical.
Like what? Give me an example of what it would take to be defined as radical to you that you would say, okay, now I'm
I don't
criticizing
know.
Trump.
I don't know. Give me an example.
How can I give you an example when I don't know what your beliefs are? I gave you an example that wasn't even hypothetical, that was real. I got you to admit that you're a fiscal conservative, and you said, but I'm okay with Trump not being fiscally conservative. It seemed like you were going to say, yes, you do strongly support the Second Amendment, but you're like, but nonetheless, I won't criticize Trump if he goes against the Second Amendment.
I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe that Trump was chosen by God to save us from socialism. And I'm going to trust everything he does faithfully, unquestioningly. If you want to call me a cultist, go ahead.
So then I just want to be clear. You're admitting that there is no hypothetical that would make you criticize Trump.
Hypotheticals don't interest me.
All right, man. You're in a cult.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. I don't think he's trolling. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Again, that's what I'm talking about. Putting your faith in a human like that is fucking insane. No matter what they do, I won't criticize them because they've been appointed by God. So even if they do things completely against what my political ideology is, I'll say that's okay. I trust them. I believe they were appointed by God. I don't know what to say. How is that different than any other cult leader that you're like, I believe this cult leader is God or appointed by God. So no matter what they do or say, I trust them 100% always and would never criticize them. How is that not a fucking cult? Now you see this dude that was criticizing me. How dare I be critical of Trump? Trump was appointed by God. And so therefore, everything he does must be the will of God. Honestly, Crowbar, I'm kind of feeling bad for kind of picking on you. I really think you need to like talk to someone. Go to your church or something. Please talk to someone. Like, by no means am I a religious scholar, but that seems like a real fucking dangerous mindset to have. And so all joking aside, man, I mean, if you're not trolling and you really believe what you're saying, that's scary. It's fucking scary. It really is. And you said that you're someone who liked me and was never critical of me before. Please, if there's any part of you that still respects my opinion, please understand. Like, in all fairness, sometimes I'm hyperbolic and I'm fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. But I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. Like, you should really reconsider this position. You really should. I don't think that you should put your faith in any human like that at all, except Christ.